Howdy, this is Matthew Pizgatti. I'm making another video tonight. I know if you guys are subscribed to me, you're probably like, man, I've received 4 video notifications from this guy tonight already. But I had to make another quick one real quick just because I've been really trying to keep an eye on the garden's returns, at least for myself personally. Obviously, everyone's situation is different. They came in at different price points. They've been compounding in different ways. But I was getting a little worried. Like I'm pretty bullish about the whole ecosystem, and so I figured 3 months, or I'm hold on, 30 days, 60 days. We'd start seeing a pretty good return, and I'm still really bullish in that direction. But I've seen a lot of complaints about people's earnings like not outpacing the decay the way they would expect. And so I've been trying to keep an eye on it. I found this video just as an example. This is me from the 27th, so that's 2 days previously, and depending on when this was filmed, it could be a little more than that, maybe 2.5 days. And you can see here I'm at 32.84 a day. Now today I'm at 33.99. It was just at 34. Obviously, this fluctuates based on the price up here. But so this is a couple day difference. I was at 218. Now I'm at 246 because I'm compounding my plants appropriately and regularly. Let's see, from the 27th, that's 2 days, and yeah, 2 complete days at least. Yeah, so from about 218 to 246. But other than just the plants, I'm compounding probably every plant or every other plant as soon as I can catch it when I have a free moment and I see ones available. I'm using that dripviewer.com, the Telegram notifications to let me know every time a plant's ready, and I'm going almost every single plant. Just to the drip BUSD, we can see here 33.73, or what is that? 33.73. Now we're at 33.05. So even with that being a little lower, I think it was higher just a moment ago than the previous one. It's kind of fluctuating up and down. Getting 0.125, so we see the decay here. 0.134 was what it was at, and now it's at 0.125. We can see my total assets gone up, and I'm almost at around 34, where I was at almost up to 33. So it's not a huge increase. It's not increasing incredibly fast, but I do see an increase, and this is the main one we're looking for, is actually the LP. Because this can change, I would almost even just ignore the dollar amount, but keep looking at your LP. Let me know if that's going up or you're not seeing it go up. And if you're not seeing it go up, I'm kind of interested to know how often you're compounding, what plants you started with, and what plants you're at now. Because from this point 973 and I'm up to 0.028, so even with the decay, I'm getting more of a total LP than I was, and that's even with this the drip BUSD price being a little lower. So that's my main advice: is just keep compounding. Every single plant, if you can spare the gas. I can't tell you what to do with your funds. This is obviously not direct financial advice, but if I were to make a recommendation, that's where the direction I would point to is compound every plant or as often as you can, and then just keep an eye on this LP price per day from this scheduler. Is that going up? If it is, you're making progress. And if it stays the same or it's about the same, try for a few more days. Try for another week or two, because that's the other point I would make, is if you're logging this, which I hope that you are, so that you can see if you're actually making progress. Because if you don't log it, you won't know if you're making progress. You won't know if you're getting anywhere. You'll just see a random drop over a few days, and you'll start to have that panic and kind of freak out and worry yourself. Because for about 5-6 days there was a very high percentage when you added in the drip BUSD and the regular decay. There was a big drop. But when I averaged it over a longer period of time, that percentage wasn't there. It was more normal, like 1.5% or 1.2%, 1.6%, somewhere in there. It averaged out over a longer time period to be a much lower decay, so that when I put that in the calculator and say, okay, if that's the average over that amount of time, are we still gaining? And obviously the drip BUSD price comes into play here. What are we at? 33.0497. Obviously that comes into play, and then the rate of decay comes into play. We're at 125 right now. This is my calculator. If you have that link, it should be in the description again. And then it always depends on, you know, what number of plants we're up to, which I just ended the day at 246, so I should really take that back. Kind of depends on where we're at there, but you know, it really just depends on this average decay. But that's the thing. If we're going to plan this, if we're going to schedule and look at this 100 days into the future or 60 days into the future, we don't care what the average is on 6 days out of that. We care what that's why we use averages, because that's the best way to project. But we can't use an average from 3 days out of the last 30 and expect that to be accurate. We can't use an average of 5 days out of the last 30 and get as accurate of a picture of where this whole project's going to go. I don't think that's fair to our estimation, and it's you know, bearish for no reason. It's just pessimistic for no reason. And you'll see when you're adjusting this that we can get to a varying amount of percentages of decay and still be making gains over time. So what is that, 1.7? Get to about 2%. If we take this up to 3, are we pretty stagnant? Yeah, so I'm even hitting this, what, around 3, and we're still climbing. So it's like 3% decay if we're averaging that even over the last 30 days or something. Even if we were that high, which from the numbers I've looked at, we are not, even then, I'm seeing this climb. You know, I'm seeing these estimations look pretty, I'm not going to say good, because they're not what you would like to see. That's 0 because we don't have enough decimals in the number formatting. So that's still an incredibly slow climb, and that's because we're also projecting with this incredibly low LP estimate. You know, if it comes back up to around 38, 39, like when I started, the decay is still going to affect us because we're climbing at the same rate. And we hope we don't hit that level of decay, because about 3.3% is about all we were expecting to get back from the garden. You know, so obviously once we start hitting those rates, oh, now we're going down. That'd be bad. But there's no reason. That's not the built-in decay level. We shouldn't be seeing that. Remember, there's only that like 1% decay built in per day, and then there's some other things added in with that the developer has added in based on the contract balance, and we don't know all of those variables and all those multipliers, but it's to give new people buying power. It's not supposed to outpace what you can compound if you're compounding more than others. So that's kind of an important point here. I see somebody's looking at the sheet with me, probably wondering what crazy changes I'm making. Not making any updates, just playing around, of course. But yeah, so this is another reason. Play around with these projections, but let's not be pessimistic for no reason. We can hit a pretty high level of decay, and I like to put this at like 1.6, 1.7 or something, just to be add some room for estimation. But I mean, we can hit a pretty high level of decay and then, you know, still be making more every day than we were previously. 33,591. So that's my point. That's a comparison I wanted to make. This is I'd go back further than this, but I did get a pretty good referral at one point. It was like 90 plants or so that gave me a bit of a boost. But that's why I wanted to start from this point to show you this this calculator, this projection, and to see the increase is still there, even without things like the referrals, because I don't believe those are required for this project to be successful, or for you to be successful in it. So I'm still incredibly bullish on this. I can crank this decay up quite a bit and still make more each day. We just got to compound every plant if you could spare the gas. That would be My suggestion, if I was going to make a suggestion, which obviously you got to do your own research, play around with these type of calculations, see what you think's best to do for your situation. But your principal's already invested. It's already doing its job. It just needs you to compound it to get more and more plants each day so that you can outpace whatever this decay happens to be. And I think we'll be in a pretty good spot in 60, 90, 100 days, depending on the whole project as a whole. Like always, we can't predict that it's not just going to explode on us. Oh, yeah, 414. Yeah. So that was a point I wanted to make in comparison. Also, yes, I know this was annoying. I work in VR a lot of the times, a lot of the days. This isn't an animation. This is actually my Quest headset, my VR headset tracking it tracks your hands and your face and mouth movements a little bit. So that's pretty neat. But yes, it does slow down the recording and make the recording sound odd and the mouse movements more janky. It's taking too much computing power, and I agree that it's distracting and not needed. So, suggestion noted from those comments. Not gonna apply that on the future videos. But yeah, so I'm still staying optimistic about this, and I think we're making progress. So that was my last quick note of the evening. I will stop bombarding your feed with videos, and I hope everyone's having a good evening or a good morning if you're watching this the next day, or whenever you encounter it and are looking at how the garden's going. But thanks for watching. Have a good one.